Hi, my name is Rick Bloodworth, and today is day 10 of the challenge to read through the New Testament in 30 days. Today's reading consists of the last three chapters of the Gospel of Luke and the first 5 chapters of the Gospel of John. And they contain perhaps what is the most beloved and one of the most readily recognizable passages in all the Bible. I'm talking about John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Well, as I mentioned, this is one of the most beloved passages in Scripture, and rightfully so, but sometimes it is also one of the most misused passages of Scripture, because some people will build their entire faith on this one verse, and they'll ignore the rest of Scripture. Well, God gave us an entire Bible to look at, an entire Bible of instruction and commands, and he expects us to be familiar with all of it. So let's talk about them. Not only did Jesus say, whoever believes in me should not perish, but have everlasting life. In John 14, verse 15, he said, if you love me, you will obey what I command. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, he also said, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. And then James, in his book, in chapter 2 and verse 19, he said this, you believe that there's one God? You do well. Even the demons believe that, and they shudder. Well, why would James say that? Well, the reason is because the demons apparently didn't combine their belief with the action that was required. Or maybe they didn't believe in God at all or Christ at all during their lifetime. Whatever it was, we find that their belief was incomplete. And of course, when Jesus said, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, there are people who just have lip service to Christ, but they don't do anything about it. And so we see our belief is of vital importance. Maybe an example from everyday life will help. We've all been kids. Imagine when you were a child that your dad said to you before he went off to work, son or daughter, I want you to take out the trash before I get back from work. And then he said, if you do, I'm going to give you $1. But then he also said, but if you don't, I'm going to give you a spanking. Well, he comes home, finds that the trash hasn't been taken out. And so he says to you, did you not hear me when I said for you to take out the trash? And you say something like, yeah, I heard. What if he then said, well, did you not believe me? And you said, yeah, I believed you. And then you said, can I still have the $1? And then he said, well, didn't you believe me when I said you'd get the reward if you did take out the trash? And you said, yeah, I believed it, but I still want the reward. And then you said, and I don't want a spanking. Then what would you have said if he said, well, didn't you believe me when I told you if you didn't take out the trash, I'd give you a spanking? And you said, yeah, I believed you. Do you think that the mere belief was enough to excuse you from the actions that were required? Well, if your mom and dad were like my mom and dad were, you found out very quickly in life that when they said something, you not only had to believe it, but that belief had to be accompanied with action. That's the same way that God is. God is a good parent. God tells us these things not because he dislikes us, but he warns us of punishment because he loves us. He doesn't want to see us apart from him for all time. He also promises tremendous reward for those who will obey him. Again, it is a tremendous truth that whoever believes in Jesus will not perish, but have everlasting life. But I want to say again, that belief will always cause us to do something about that belief. Well, I hope you've been reading thus far, and I hope you'll continue to read, because within the passages of Scripture, we're told what our basis of belief is, and also what our responsibility to that belief will be. May God richly bless you as you continue to seek his will and do it.